Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
It's your girl Dee and Kee on this thing called life. And we are here to welcome you to pay, as we pay homage to the unsung healthcare, our CNAs, our home healthcare aides, our medical assistants. We are here to give them their just due. And we have two phenomenal women. I mean, I'm just actually meeting them myself, but just from this interaction I had with both of them, you all are going to love them. And just from journal conversations, there are things that show me now that this may not just be a one-time segment, because there's so many layers and levels to what it is that these ladies and so many others deal with on a professional level on a day with that they deal with on a professional level on a daily basis. So I'm going to yield the floor to let Kenyatta actually introduce these phenomenal women because she knows them just a little bit better than I do.
So, first of all, I want to say when they talk about your cousins being your very first best friend, so Vajhon Humphrey she was that cousin for me. And she is that cousin for me because here it is, many years later. And I know that at any given point in time, I can pick up the phone and I can say, hey, so like when this subject came up, the first two people that I thought of, I mean, there were several that came to mind, but the first two that I thought of were, number one was my cousin. Two was my other daughter, but she's working right now. Three, Shawnte. Shawnte is my other just near and dear to my heart. Like I think a few years ago we were strangers, but now again, one of those people from hell or high water, she's gonna be one of the first people I call. So this particular one, this was one again, this particular topic is near my heart, especially because of these two young ladies, but just because I have so many friends and so many families within the community, within the healthcare community, but I know that these two have an amazing story. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to start with Shawnte and just kind of give us a little bit, about yourself. And then I would like to have Vajhon to do the same. So we're going to start with Shawnte.
Hello. I'm Shawnte. Mother of four, two grandbabies. I've been in the field as a home health aide CNA for about 17 years now. The first 7 or so years were nursing homes. The last 10 have been in home health. I'm actually pretty passionate about it. I love the job, so I stick with it.
Okay, and Miss Humphrey. Because I love to look her names up. I'd be like, no, we do not have the last name.
I know.
Tell us a little bit about you.
Hello, I'm Vajhon. I'm a mother of three, and I have three grandbabies. And I've been in the healthcare. Well, I've been a CNA for 20 years. I've worked in nursing homes. I say 13, and then 7 of the years I've been in home health. I just recently kind of got into home health. Things kind of slowed down for me or whatever when I left the nursing home. I seem to like one-on-one care better because nursing homes are pretty big and it's just a lot more going on. And it was her heartbroken day when I left, but I knew it was time for me to go because I knew that I needed to do. Because sometimes this will take a toll on you, but I do love taking care of people. But it will take a toll on you. But what else? I guess that's pretty much it. I take care of my grandmother now. That's the number one reason why I left the nursing home. Is the fact that I take care of my grandmother because my aunt really needed me. So that's my number one reason why I left.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm moving around a little bit.
Okay. Well, it's called right for a reason. Absolutely. Are you sure? I think we're both double shared.
Well, in the meantime, in between time, I am going to just jump basically right in, and I'm going to start by saying thank you to that we lost Miss Vajhon. There she is. I was gonna say,
we're having issues here. We're having issues.
Yeah, right. That's how it is.
See that?
You have the test runs and everything is great. And then it's like you go live and but hey, it's called You're Here. We're doing things a little differently because of the pandemic. So we are virtual. So, we can expect technology to do what technology does.
Right.
It is what it is. But I'm going to start by saying I thank you, ladies, for having a heart to help and be, caregivers and to give of yourself and your time. When I think about, the things that you all do on a daily basis, I pay homage because I say that I would have the patience or the bedside manner to not snatch a knot in some of the people that you all, I'm sure, encounter or have encountered in the course of your life. That's not easy when you're dealing with the dispositions of sick people, and then you have temperamental family members as well. I pay homage to you all for just sticking and staying. And I thank you on behalf of all of us who have ever had to have the services of a CNA or home health aide at some point in time, whether it was personal or loved one. I personally say,
Well, thank you.
And
I appreciate it.
Appreciate but let's go ahead and jump into some of the things that you all have. Let's start by saying some of the things that you all have had to endure as CNAs even before the pandemic, and then we will kind of delve into some of the changes that have occurred since things have actually been in place with these new regulations, because I've noticed that there are changes that we as patients have to endure. Like we now have to go through the screenings because I have to be at, the hospital in the morning for some tests. So I've got to be there to get my temp taken. I've got to be there to make sure that everything is everything before they'll even let me in. So when you're dealing with not only those different aspects of things, but when you're also dealing with caring for patients and having to ensure their safety, their well-being, while also maintaining the safety and well-being of yourself and those you may go home to. Let's kind of delve into that. Whichever one of you want to kind of go first, it doesn't matter.
You want to go or you want me to go?
Go ahead. Go ahead. You go first.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll say this. The biggest thing that I endured, which was heartbreaking, was when all this first jumped off and all these things were starting to happen, I had to stop actual family members from coming to see my grandmother. She couldn't have contact with anyone. And so I think that was the biggest thing that got me the most, because she didn't understand. She didn't quite understand why her other daughters could no longer come over and see her anymore, or why that, because we also, because she usually sits in the living room of the house because she loves to look out the big window, but we kept her in her room, because my job called me and told me that, we had to start doing different things and keeping her out of contact with people, because for one, she's elderly. So that's the
Okay.
biggest thing. And it's, of course, it has hit them the worst. So I think that was one of my biggest, watch what I do now because of her, because I have to care for her.
Gotcha. So for
Yeah.
you, that was the biggest issue, and how did you deal with having to explain to your family members that, okay, now we all know what's going on, but you all can come over, you just can't come in.
Right. And some got it, some didn't. They were like, "Oh, I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything." Well, I get that, but yet and still, I have to still look out for the safety of her. Whether you go to anywhere or not, at this point right now, let's just kind of step back and just kind of wait. And some got it, some didn't, or whatever. Like one of my aunts, she was very heartbroken that she couldn't. And then once we they seen the significance more of it, as the news went on with it and everything started going on. Oh,
Hmm.
I get it now. So that was hard explaining to my family. You got to stay away. You don't
Yeah.
want to tell anyone they have to stay away, but it was, that's just how it was. But we got through it, and we still, and we don't allow too many, people over and everything.
Yeah, that was my next question. How many people have you, well, not number of people, but have you all kind of like loosened the reins a little bit as it relates to some, maybe being able to come to, maybe do like so many of us and have the where we all have the outdoor visits, I guess, maybe where she may be so she can see them and they can see her, but we just kind of keep that social distancing in place. Is
Right.
that kind of
She
more
really
along the
Right, but she really hasn't. We really haven't been anywhere to do anything, and we haven't had any gatherings. We didn't do the July 4th, and it was just a recent wedding in the family. I didn't take her. And but her birthday was in May, so everybody did a drive by, and to say happy birthday to her, and then also like now maybe like one or two of her daughters, because my grandmother has 9 children. One is passed, but she has 8 living. So like 2 or 3 might come over, and it's not big, a big gathering or anything going on. We kind of keep the kids away from her, but you know, no one's. And this is the biggest thing that I ask when you do visit, to make sure most definitely wash your hands when you come in, and just don't, because I know, and I put a big old sign on her door. Just know we all love her and we love to give her hugs and kisses, but right now at this time, let's not do that.
right, right.
Yeah.
And I know that, and for me, I think, because I love my godparents.
Yeah.
But if I were to, and I talk to them regularly, but if I were to go back down to Mississippi and, we shared, we talked about it, I said, much as I love you all, it would kill me to not be able to hug you. I said, unless I turn around and have a fresh set of clothes that I would come, change into right there on the porch, have all of my new stuff I wouldn't have on the clothes I traveled in, in order to just be able to. And I'm like, okay, y'all have to have your mask on. And then I grab that hug, and then we'll still have to,
Yeah.
and it's as disheartening as it is to think about it. It is, when you really, for real care about your loved one, you do what you have to do.
Yeah, most definitely.
You do what you have to do. Great. Okay, we've got a couple of comments on here. We're gonna start out with we've got one of our guests and one of our sisters saying good evening to you ladies. And they said we appreciate your dedication and commitment to healthcare. And then we have one of your fellow healthcare workers who she's saying good afternoon. And good afternoon, sis. And then we have another sister on here, Kimberly, joined us today. Thank you, Kimberly. And Annette's like, keep her safe. She's telling you to keep your grandmother safe at all costs.
Thank you.
Absolutely. She's like, definitely keep her safe at all costs. And then, okay, Miss Shawnte, I wanted to have you, if you would, kind of address the same question, as it relates to some of the adjustments that have been made.
Well, I'll just, it's so interesting because listening to Vajhon, we actually just went through pretty much that with my grandmother, limiting people hanging out with her. I started blowing kisses when I would go by. I would just blow kisses from afar. And I would tell her, I wish I could hug on you. I wish I could love on you, but this is for you, for you. So I definitely understand where she's coming from. Unfortunately, other reasons took my grandmother, so she's no longer with us. But that's okay. We're okay with that now. As far as today, I take care of an 89-year-old woman. I only have one case at the moment. I've had her for 9 years now. I didn't have her full time until about 6 years ago. I've had her now full time 6 years. And it's kind of crazy because I'm now also her legal representative because her only family member passed away. And so now I am also her legal representative. She has no other family. But as far as taking care of her, I have limited what I do as far as out in the public, making sure I stay healthy, make sure I stay safe, because I don't want to bring that home to her. And I stay home because I'm here 50 hours a week. So I am here 50 hours a week. I am here all day, Monday. And the only reason I'm not here on Saturdays and Sundays is because I got to have some time to myself.
Right.
But I am here 50 hours a week. We've made a lot of little changes. I used to take her out. We used to run the streets all the time. Kenyatta can tell you, we used to go out and have dinner and lunch and stuff with them all the time. She loves the sisters. We no longer go out. I've canceled doctor's appointments just because I felt like they weren't as necessary as the risk of taking her out. As far as I've changed from going to the grocery stores because it's just, to me, germ beds. I actually Instacart most of the groceries to the house. I just don't want to be in a grocery store for 45 minutes to an hour amongst everybody. As far as in the home, again, there's not really many people here. It's me, her, and her grandson's partner. Her grandson passed away. His partner, though, they still live together, so they're roommates. We don't hug on her. We don't love on her. We love on her from afar. We tell her we love her every day. We blow kisses to her. She's 89. We don't even love on her. um, it's just a matter of how I handle her. Like, especially since I just came off of a vacation, I'm wearing a mask whenever I'm near her. I'm washing my hands twice as long now. Just try to keep her from picking up anything. And it's such a scary thing because, again, she's used to being able to get out. She's used to jumping in a car and we'll say, just let's go out to eat. We go out to eat. She usually has 3 or 4 doctor's appointments a month. And I took her to an appointment last week. That's the first time she had been out the house in pretty much since it started.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much since it started. Outside of maybe going to the porch. We'll go to the porch.
Okay.
But that's it. That's it. We don't have many people come over here. We do have a few neighbors. And when they do come by, they understand they've got to be 8 feet away, not 6, 8 feet. There's no hovering over grandma. There's no talking to her. There's no hugging her. There's none of that. And the only reason I really still allow that is because during this pandemic, I can say that I've noticed a decline because of the social aspect. She's not being socialized as much. It's just me and Joe for the most part.
Right.
So, where even doctor's appointments she would look forward to because she would get to talk to her doctors and the nurses and the medical staff there. When we would go out to eat, she would get to chit chat with the waitresses or waiters and, things like that. Or when we would just go out, she would have other people to hang out with. Or when I would take her to a family function of mine, she would have my family to talk to. And essentially, since this has started, the only social aspect she's really had has been me and Joe. That's it. So I don't, it's almost like a double-edged sword at this point. It's like you want to keep them safe. We want to keep them around. But then on the other hand, I've still noticed a decline because of her socializing has been cut.
Yeah. Okay.
But she's still doing pretty good. But this pandemic is getting to be rough. It's getting to be rough.
Okay. Now you said something that was quite interesting. You mentioned doing the Instacart. I think is what you call it. Was it Instacart?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're doing the grocery versus going out to do the grocery shopping. Now, as it relates to doing that, when you're looking into is that like a drop off, like a porch type of drop off, or
yes, they someone else goes and does all the grocery shopping. I wipe everything down before I hand anything to her, but she does the groceries. Whoever it is that picks up our order, she picks it up. They bring it to the house. They put it on the porch. It's no contact. They leave it all on the porch for me.
Okay.
And I just bring it in from there. And then I usually, depending on what it is, either I'll Lysol spray it or wipe it down or something. But I don't know. To me, it feels like it's just a safer bet than me being out there, especially since I hate the mask. And I'm hot. And so it just seems safer to me to let someone else bring the groceries to the house. We have just about everything sent in. I'm trying to avoid Walmart. I'm trying to avoid Kroger. Sick people still need stuff, and asymptomatic people still need stuff. They're still going to go out. They don't know. and I just don't want those risks. I can't afford it. I can't afford it mentally to do that. I can't do that. So yeah, we have a lot of Amazon has become a best friend.
Now we have a couple of comments, and then I want to delve into when you all were actually both working in facilities and how things were with you all there, and then. But we have one young lady that sang Marina. That's
one of the sisters.
Yeah, she sang "Good Evening, Ladies," and then we have right here. The actress is saying, "My mother is the same. At 95, she's a people person. The elderly have struggled. She told us yesterday that she is going to church on Sunday." Just to, I guess, some instances, just to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Even though, even if you stay or sit 15, rows away from the closest next person, just to get out of the house sometimes.
So, Vajhon, with your grandmother, is she in a position to insist upon leaving the house, or is she just like y'all not having it?
No, well, honestly, my grandmother wasn't the type to go a lot of places. She really doesn't like to get in the car or anything. So no, but she insists on seeing people, because when her daughters call, when everyone else calls her, she said, "When are you coming by to see me?" And that's her constant question. So she's used to people coming to see her and being around her. So she likes that. She likes to be around, and she loves to be around children. Children just brighten her day.
Oh,
so, yeah, she loves that. So that's the biggest thing with my grandmother. It wasn't us going anywhere. She will only like to go somewhere if we're getting like some ice cream or something of the sort or whatever, and that is say she'll come out then. But that's the only reason she would. But other than that, no. It's just people coming to actually see her with us.
Okay. Now we have one comment. It's like, "I appreciate all the health aides that do their jobs. I've had some good ones, like Shawnte give me this bed bath and put my ass to sleep." He said, "Well, I've been feeling bad a lot lately, so my doctor is limiting my interactions with other people. I still have a bad heart and losing blood." Oh, you need to chat. Now the health aide lady, okay, she's got some really interesting faces.
Yeah, she's got a little angry faces.
So she must be might not be happy with a couple of them right now. But Liz, she said, "I have to remind them to sanitize stuff and to wipe off the counter."
Now, I will say, because I have worked with health aides for Kim, I have had to arrange health aides for Kim. I have been in the nursing home with Kim after she had a procedure, and I have had to run everybody from the CNAs and the sanitation people all the way up to the administrator of the facility when it comes to that one. And I'm just like, look, y'all not getting ready to. So again, my heart goes out to both of you, and I know both of you personally and love both of you, because I know when you get patients who have very specific needs, and who may have who might be a little difficult, but they have very specific needs. But then you have family members. If you have, I am a family member at this point with that one. When you have family members who are, because when somebody in this house goes down, they gotta struggle. They gotta healthcare facility has to struggle, because we're like, excuse me. We not know this is not. And like Kim had a stroke, and when Kim had her stroke, everybody in the hospital hated me. Everybody in the hospital knew me. Like Shawnte and all of them called. I was the first one that got called. And then when she went into the facility, like there were a couple CNAs. Like it got to a point, and this is where I commend you all and commend the job that you do. It got to a point where I was like, this person can work with Kim. This person can work with Kim. That physical therapist can work with Kim, and these two nurses. Other than that, don't send nobody else into the room.
Yeah, you got to advocate for them, most definitely.
You got to, because unfortunately, although our jobs are, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is.
Unfortunately, we do have our bad apples that are only in it for what they deem an easy paycheck.
That's an
And
easy.
so, you know, I always encourage family to, you know, stay on top of your people. Stay on top of your people. Stay on top of, don't smother them too much. You got to give them a little leeway, but stay on top of your people. Make sure that they are getting the treatment they deserve. I've often said that you don't really, you know, the good CNAs and home health aides are not in this for necessarily a paycheck. We appreciate our paycheck, but not necessarily for a paycheck. We are here because we love the job. We love taking care of people. We love trying to help people. And if the CNA's heart is not in it, then we end up with the bad stories, the bad cases. And because it's so easy to get into, unfortunately, there's more than we need in the industry.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, we know what Kim goes through with her AIDS, because we've all, for some reason she keeps getting AIDS that can't even boil, you know, scramble an egg, and I don't understand.
This is a woman who even after a stroke and being, you know, partially paralyzed, who still cooks like fabulous
She still has her business. She still has her small business.
You know, we don't need y'all to handle, you know. And Vajhon, again, you know, I started out by saying, you know, her own father, someone who's very near and dear to my heart, and she, you know, she took care of not just her father, but then when, you know, when Aunt Pat's husband became ill, she took care of him too. So when I tell you, this is someone who, these are two women I can speak for firsthand knowledge of the beautiful job that y'all do, and the fact that you actually care about people and in their health care. That, again, you know, I have to say thank you, just personally. Just, I know Grandma, I know Kim, you know, and then, you know, the other two were, you know, actual members of our family, you know. So
yeah. Now, when you start talking about being in the facilities and dealing with a lot of the things, and it was like when you mentioned, yeah, I appreciate the paycheck, we appreciate our paycheck, but you all are, and I'm just putting it out there, those that are in the industry can like it or not, you all are some of the most unsung and underpaid workers in the healthcare industry.
By the grace of God.
Really, man.
Yes.
By the grace of God. By the grace of God. That's how we make it. Because you are most definitely correct. We are very underpaid. They don't pay a lot, you know, and I never left it.
The fact that we're dealing with, you know, and I've been told that some people make as little as $8 to $9 an hour. And you're talking about individuals who are having to turn bodies that are bigger than themselves to give them baths, to change their bed linens, and then I think Shawnte was the one telling me that her and a couple of other young ladies have had to deadlift individuals who have rolled out of the bed who were, you know, sometimes in excess of 300 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, so you're dealing with, and a lot of these young CNAs, and I'm saying younger ones, don't have the physical strength, and then you got individuals like you all who are doing it by yourselves.
Yeah.
You know, those are the things that people don't look at.
Yeah.
Because, you know, my father he had a stroke, and even though he had a stroke, and, you know, we had someone coming to the house with him, you know, to help my mom and my younger brother. A lot of what, because when I would go home, because I lived out of state at the time, when I would go home and I would assist my mother with helping, with my father just to change bed linen. So we're dealing with a 6 foot, 200 and some odd pound man where you have to put him on one side, get the bed linen rolled up to a certain point, halfway point, flip over to the other side, pull those dirty sheets off, then go through the whole process to put the clean ones back on. And then you're doing this, a lot of people in a lot of homes by themselves.
Mhm.
Fortunately for us, we had a lift that we were able to actually lift my father off the bed. But a lot of people don't have those lifts in house.
Let me tell you something. So in the nursing home, that same aide may have 8 to 12 residents on first and second shift, and I think third shift they usually have about 18 residents.
Yeah, up to 20. Yeah, 20, sometimes 25 people.
Up to 20, yeah. They have a lot
Yeah.
that they take care of. And I know you're so happy about that lift. Let me tell you, I didn't have time to fool with that lift most of the time. A lot, unless I absolutely had to use it. When you're again, remember I told you we don't get paid very much. You got to do this out of love, because I managed to get my bed baths down on most of my people in under 30 minutes. You just have to. And that's including a complete bed change, a complete bed bath. That is, you don't have time. That's the other reason why going to home health, I had to do it. No longer could take that hustle and bustle of 12 people, 12 butts to make sure it was clean and dry every 2 hours. And then a couple of showers done a shift, and it's a lot. And then again, so that's why I had to come out. That's why I had to come out, because my back couldn't take it. So just imagine you seeing taking care of your father at home. The girls in the nursing home, they're doing it pre-pandemic. They were doing this, and they're doing it with 8 to 12, up to 20 something, depending on shifts.
Yeah.
By themselves. And that now, even with the pandemic, I mean, I happen to know a few young CNAs. My daughter is one. My niece is one. And then a daughter that I absolutely love, an adoptive daughter, let's call it that. They're all CNAs now. And now they're doing it during the pandemic. And now they have to do it in gowns and N95 masks. And they have to change between each client. And they, I really, really commend the girls doing it now, because during this pandemic, it's just that much harder for them. This is an extra layer of safety that they have to take for themselves and for the residents.
Yeah. That's almighty.
Right. I'm snippet tripping. It's like Marina said, time management is key. You cut corners where you can, all while keeping your patients safe as possible.
She is a nurse, and if I'm not
She's
mistaken,
a nurse in a facility. She's a nurse in a facility right now.
She works. So when they're talking about the 18 to 25, she's a nurse. She's an overnight nurse. She works night shift. She's worked night shift. Well, hell, as long as I've known her. As adults, as long as I've known her. I've known her. Oh my God, Marina, I've known you since you were honey. And she said the patients and staff. What she say? Patients and staff ratio is awful.
It is, and it's getting worse. It
is getting worse,
there, but it's getting worse.
It's getting worse.
It's getting worse. It most definitely is, because it was times where it'd just be maybe on first shift, probably, and when it should be okay, it should be 2 nurses, 4 aides on this side. When I remember when I was a nursing home, and 3 on that side, and sometimes it'll just be 3 of us starting to get people up. And and like we will always talk about, we will always all have a conversation before we all got started, because we knew we all had to have a clear head. We all got to get through this. We all can't fuss about it. We know this is something that has to get done. These are not robots. These are people.
These are not robots.
They are actual human beings that have to get up, but they need our assistance. So we got to put everything at whatever was going on at home or whatever the case may be, leave it at the door. Let's get this done. We can't complain about who didn't come to work today. We can't do that. This is something we have to do, and we did it. We just have to get through it. And we human too. We all get tired. We all have feelings, but at some point, hey, it is what it is. We're here, So yeah, it is. And nowadays, it is getting worse because as our younger crew now is a lot of people are not going for CNA, so we're pretty much probably screwed when we get to a nursing home. I don't know if they're what we're gonna actually do, because my youngest daughter, she's now a CNA. She just started, and she tells me all the time, and I pray for my baby every time she go to work. She tells me all the time, "Oh my God, Mom, such and such happened today. Such and such happened today," and she's learning how to deal with things. And so she's like, I don't know if I can do this now, but I'm telling you, you can. It's okay. You can. Just think of how that person, whoever you're caring for, actually needs you. They probably, for their everyday ADLs, they can't probably get out of bed. They probably might not be able to feed themselves. They still need someone. So I want her to look at the bigger picture of this all. We all still need someone. Because besides my grandmother, I help anybody that I can. And that's probably my biggest downfall with me or whatever, because I'm out in the store, and if I see somebody or anything, that's just what I do. Like my mom, she's now working part-time. So, now I have to take over a lot of stuff for her. And when she had sick, my mom had breast cancer. She's a breast cancer survivor now. So then I also had to care for her. So, I just pray that I keep the strength to take care of everybody from here on out. I don't want to stop now. I just took to the point where probably in my 60s, I want to just be someone's companion at the time, sit with somebody. Everybody needs someone,
And see, those are some of the things that we take for granted. And see, for you all's profession, you all are sometimes the only outside contact that some of these people have.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them are talking about their current situation.
Well, I'm talking about like even in the facilities, because a lot of people have their families drop them off and forget them.
Yeah, then, they don't have anyone.
Right, and then you turn around and you become that person's family, all basically, and it's heart-wrenching to know that you are that outside contact, and you all have a great heart. You all still have to, be okay. I know you may chew slow, but I need you to try for me to see if you can swallow this applesauce just a little bit faster today. And not being funny, but just being realistic with it, because
it is
with the number of patients that you're talking about, and it's just mind blowing to me. It's mind blowing to me that and it's like to go and say, I get tired as a patient having to get up and make my walk to the bathroom and have to, just doing the little things, like after I had my open heart surgery, and my husband was there with me. I was blessed enough to have him there with me. So what we did was, and it's just how I am, we would already have my bath and stuff done before the CNA would come in. So we would be like, look, if you want to come on up in here and just get off your feet for that 10, 15 minutes or go potty, something as simple as going to the bathroom, you do what you just get off your feet for a minute. Just woosah, or you go to the next room. Whatever your timeline is, you probably shouldn't be saying that on the air, but it wasn't either one of these ladies. So I was so don't start tripping if you're watching this. They are in Indiana, so it was not up here. But it's one of those deals where just sitting and talking to some of the people that have come into my room when I've been the patient, and just hearing how many, beds, where you got a floor sometimes where every room is taken. So you're going around getting all these vitals. You're going around, again, thank you.
Yeah, and Marina is a nurse. And go up one more. She says, staffing is feast or famine. I always say the nurse is only as good as their weakest aid. I love my CNAs.
But you're rare because a lot of times CNAs and they are talked about like a dog and not appreciated because they don't have those big letters, those big paycheck letters behind their name. And I appreciate you for appreciating them.
Um, this that just brings me back to the I didn't realize Morena was going to pop in today.
Yes.
Um, uh, I had mentioned earlier when we was talking privately that some of the best nurses were CNAs, and Morena was a CNA.
So
She knows what her girls go through. She's there. I've seen comments from some of her CNAs and they're like, thank you for helping, she's one of the good ones, and those like her are also needed for CNAs and home health aides, well, mostly CNAs in the nursing homes, because to know that you have a nurse that's on your side versus a nurse that's harassing you over water, it means a lot. It means a lot to have a nurse that has walked those steps and knows what it's like to be as a CNA on the floor. It's night and day. It's night and day. You have those nurses that come straight out of school and all they've done is clinicals and they have no clue. And they only make your shift even harder.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah, they only make your shift harder. So I mean, I've definitely had my dust ups with nurses behind it, and I had a nurse. I keep bringing up the water because I had a nurse jump me out, try to get at me because I didn't get a chance to pass my water my shift. But if you walk down my hallway, everybody smelled like cherry blossom or cool breeze. If you walk down my hallway, all my people looked great. If you walk down my hallway, all my people were up, smiling, happy, feeling good, smelling good, looking good, feeling good about life.
Yeah.
And you're worried, you want to look at me because I didn't get a chance to pass the water? Well, you could have passed the water for me. You could have helped me out a little bit. I was busy taking care of much more pressing things. So yes, there are those nurses, and Morena's one of them, that reaches back and looks at her CNAs and says, they're doing good. Let me help them out where I can.
Right.
So
so
those nurses are definitely appreciated.
Yeah, nurses like her are invaluable. You know.
But I'm gonna tell you, she's always been like that. Marina, just like these two women right here. When I tell you that they are loving souls, and they are people who do this out of love. It is not. I mean, again, like they appreciate their paycheck, but Marina's another one. They do it out of love because Marina, like I said, she was, now she is a nurse, but she is still making sure, she is still in the facility. I've heard her say it many a time, girl. But she's still in the facility, and she's right there with him. So she says I never forget what I went through as an aide. I believe nurses aides first, and that's just the heart of all three of these ladies. They are all amazing ladies. What she say?
Kimberly, she's a sweetie. She said Shawnte and Marina have the best bedside manner. I would hire them in a heartbeat just to get a bed bath.
Listen. So let me tell y'all about the bed bath because she done brought it up twice. Kenyatta had mentioned that she had a stroke a few years ago. And the facility she was in a rehab facility. And they did this whole wipe down with a wet wipe bed bath thing that they do now. I don't do it. I've never been a fan of it. I believe in soap and water.
That old
I believe in
school.
soap and water. I don't believe in Perry Wash, which is that little green spray stuff. I use it to clean wheelchairs. I don't use it on my people.
So
um,
yeah.
and so she was feeling pretty icky, and she wanted a bed bath, and they came in and they wiped her down, and they barely hit them hot spots. We're just gonna call them hot spots.
Yeah.
And she called me crying, and she was like, Shawnte, I need a bath, and these girls won't give me a decent bath. I said, well, here I come. I'm gonna come give you a decent bath. It's one of my favorite things. I think baths make people feel great. It can change your whole mood. It can lift you out of the darkness. Just a good bath, you know. And I went up there, and I made them hand me all. They was like, oh, well, here's this, this, and this. I'm like, no, no, no. Go find me some wash rags, some towels. Kim had Bath and Body Works stuff because she's a bit bougie like that. But and I gave her a head to toe bed bath, changed her bed, the whole nine. Her room was smelling so good. The aides was like, wow, what did you do? My job. It's not my job. I'm not getting paid for it, but I'm doing my job. This is how it's supposed to be done. You're supposed to care. I treat people the way I would want to be treated. They better not send me an aide that wants to wash me up with a wet wipe. I'm gonna throw a fit.
Yeah.
So that's why she keeps bringing it up, because afterwards I think she thought she could float on clouds. I think she thought she could get up and run down the hallway. She was feeling so good.
She did.
And so she
She did, because then that's when they called me because she decided she was leaving, you know. That's what I was getting late night phone calls. They were like, yeah, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
When you look at situations like that, you know, there's one thing that we generally say, like in when dealing with in customer service, is like, you may just be one customer to me, but I may be that one person in your life that will give you a smile and make a difference. And that's the way I look at you all's profession. Now, on one of the watch parties that's going, I saw a cousin pop on. Now, while this is a little bit different, but he is also, and I mean, Kenyatta have talked about, we're going to have to pay homage to those who are responsible for keeping these different facilities sanitized.
Oh, yeah.
Especially now as we deal with this pandemic. It's like the realities of, like, when I walk into the hospital to get my blood draws, because I'm in there almost every week, you know, and then I walk in and I see someone that's wiping down the elevator buttons, sanitizing the rails, and, you know, if I'm on one that has rails, you know, I tell them, thank you, I appreciate you. Absolutely. Because I'm just one of only God knows how many people that's walking in and out of that elevator on a daily basis. And just the little things. If I don't make it home before I have to take a quick potty break, to be able to walk into a facility and know that it has been sanitized properly. Because there have been times pre-COVID where you can walk into facilities, in healthcare facilities, and you're like, for real though? This how you like, for real? And I don't take it for granted, especially when you think about nowadays you got the ERs where they basically, while they do have to wipe down and change out bed linens and whatever's going on anyway, now there are probably additional steps that have to be taken to sanitize these rooms, to sanitize these offices, like when you go to just a standard doctor's visit. You know, so I don't take it for granted. And that's why I'm trying to bring awareness along with my sister that people need to think beyond the inconvenience of having to stand in line to get your temperature taken.
Yeah.
Because you all have to think about, okay, you're my one patient at this moment, but I may have 20 others that I'm dealing with who may have a
Mm-hmm.
family member with them that just came off work that may be exposed to somebody. And I've got to think about, okay, keeping all the other patients safe, plus keeping myself safe so that when I come home to my family, I'm not bringing any type of contamination to my home. So I want people to think beyond self.
Yes, and people to do a lot.
I want people to think beyond and look at things beyond what and see, Miss Vajhon, I commend you because I was my mother's caregiver when she had cancer. And it is not easy when you're caring for someone that that you love. But and then I'll just say it like this: it's one thing to care about individuals because that is your chosen profession.
Mhm.
It's something totally different when you have to use your chosen profession with someone that you love.
Yes.
So I commend both of you because see, it was a lot for me just dealing with making sure my mom was straight, making sure her appointments were, I didn't mix up dates for appointments and make sure, okay, I got to make sure this med is at this time and this med is at this time. Okay, I got to make sure she has this snack at this particular point in time. Okay, I got to make sure. It's like, it is a for real full time job when you're dealing with one person.
Mm-hmm.
And then to also have to incorporate 20 more.
Yeah.
And then in some cases, if you're home health, you're cooking for these individuals, then you have to think about and factor in your drive time to the next destination. Then you're having to think about. So when I say you all are unsung and you all definitely need to be making that longer money, that I mean that. And I appreciate it. And I want other people to realize just how much you all do so they can have a little bit more patience when they are dealing with CNAs going from room to room. Yeah, I may not be able to bring you your ice chips right now, but I need to make sure that Mr. So and so or Miss So and so is getting whatever they need that's a little bit more pressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say that,
Yeah.
just even in the healthcare issues that you've had, the healthcare issues that Kim's had, and when I was going through it with Kim, Vajhon wasn't even aware, but in the things that I was talking to her about because I knew that she was taking care of some other things at the time, and she would help me. She would help me, and of course Shawnte, because Shawnte would have to come to the facility, and there, when things were going on, she was one of the first. Shawnte, I was like, hey, this is what's going on. Help me, or they would have to talk me off a ledge, and so I have to say, um, as a patient advocate, because I was, and again, when it came to your care, because even when we were here at home, I'm gonna tell you, Shawnte, I'm gonna tell you, 'cause I'm like, she's not moving. I can't wake her up, she's not moving. She's just like, take her temperature, and this and that and the other. But
Thank you. I didn't know that. Thank you.
yeah, but just as a patient advocate, I know that these ladies that I have this personal connection to helped me when it came to Kim, when it came to you, when I've had to deal with when it had to deal with stuff with my daughter, it just, and even my father now, yeah, to get her off the floor. She's called, and I've already at work or, and you pay the school, or she's posted, I need help,
Yeah.
and they have been able to come
And go to
to
the
help her.
rescue.
Yeah, and just, I mean, and like I said, I think that they have given me a different appreciation.
Yeah. And when you bring what they do to the forefront,
Yes.
for those who may not, and we're going to wrap up because it's time for us to shut it down. But I want you all to close things out for us by telling us as patients, what can we do to make your lives easier when we are in a facility or we do have a loved one in a facility? What small things can we do to make things just a little easier? Yeah.
I start first because I was a patient.
I know this one.
I was a patient, and I know I put myself in my CNAs or in their shoes. I did. I knew if it wasn't urgent, I didn't have a dire in need, and she didn't get there that quick for me, I knew she probably might have been taking care of someone else. So let me just pump my brakes and be calm when she comes in the room, whatever the case may be. That is one of my biggest things because you're in a room and they say, for instance, someone's lights been on for a long time. I might have an accident somewhere else where somebody else really needed me and I just couldn't break away. And the thing about that is sometimes when it is cases like that, a lot of people don't like to answer our lights. They like to tend to their own people. They don't want to come on this side. You get a lot of that. So now your resident or patient or whatever is feeling like, oh my gosh, she never came. She just ignored me. That's not the case sometimes, especially with people who really are working. So I
Right.
just ask, just kind of, just don't blow up on me when I get there. It's okay. And I will explain, hey, I was in such and such room now and I'm here now. But yeah, sometimes you just get, and it might be a family member too, but I know because I was in the hospital. I know. So, and I had an incident because I had just had surgery and I couldn't get up and get to the bathroom quick enough or whatever, and she didn't get there. But hey, I took care of everything, and I said she probably was somewhere else. I didn't blow up.
So patience is key.
Yes, patience, please. But most definitely, just have some patience, and I promise we'll get there.
Okay, Miss Shawnte.
I would definitely agree with patience. Um, I have always talked to me if there's something that has bothered you or something wasn't taken care of the way you may have thought you wanted it done. Because a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about what we are to do and the order in which we do things. Talk to me. Talk to them. Hey, my mom likes, my mom don't like. Um, these are things that I would like to have done for her. Just talk. We're human. At the end of the day, we're human. And those of us that love our job, we're gonna take care of your person like they're our own family member. But just talk to me. Just talk to me. I'm pretty sure we can come. Don't come at me screaming. Don't go screaming. Don't go yelling. Don't, because unfortunately, sometimes when the family acts a fool, it gets passed on. And that's the last thing you want. Some people have a hard time separating they're going to give your family member the basic care. But if you want them to have a little extra love, talk to your aide. Talk to your aide. Talk to her. Treat her like a human. She's human. We go home, we climb in our cars at the end of the day of a hard shift. Sometimes we cry. We lose patience. We go through a whole lot that a lot of people don't realize. And just like we're trying to help out your family member, just talk to us. You might be helping out your aide as well.
Yeah.
Now that's a powerful note to end on right there.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to say I appreciate you all again for taking the time out to bring a little bit more awareness to, like I said, the unsung heroes of healthcare, our CNAs, our home health aides, because in many cases, like you said, when we don't feel like a person is moving fast enough, not understanding that there may have been a cold, whatever, down the way, and they are asking like for real, all hands on deck. So you get pulled into situations that and I may not get there in time enough to get you to the bathroom, but guess what? I will clean your butt for you and change your linen as soon as I get there. I promise. So I appreciate you all for, just leaving us with those couple of tidbits. And, I want to ask you all just, if this, let her say whatever it is that she wants to say or needs to say. Okay, well, I want to ask you all if you all will stay put for just a brief moment as we shut things down. And I want to say thank you to all of you who took the time to join us today as we discussed, our unsung heroes in healthcare, as we show appreciation and pay homage to those who are oftentimes
Fly.
unappreciated, right, and overlooked until they're not at work or able to be at work. Then it's like, everything in the world turns upside down because now we have to do 15 other things that I took for granted that my CNA had, was taken care of. So we appreciate you all and we thank you all for being here. And I'm going to ask you all to stay put for just a moment as we shut things down. And thank you, Kimberly. We appreciate your compliment.
Thank you, Kim.
And welcome again. And we look forward to seeing you all again on this thing called life. Take care, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.